tweet it out too real quick?
I just got all those tweets.
Yep, me too. All right. So
I just saw all those tweets.
Give me the link, copy, quit, and then we'll tweet it back out. We are in the Wedgie Show. Join us. I don't even know how to say it. I'm just going to type it. Join us for a post, and I'll go pin with Ivy.
For a wedgie for your 108ing.
It's a wedgie for the one. By the way, I'm going to show this off.
Wedgie?
By the way,
I saw what you were wearing.
I bet you see this. Did you see that?
No,
because my dog ate the hole out of the shoulder. I put a patch on it. So give me one second. Hold on. Post was an IV pod.
I was going to say
a pre.
I know of.
Is it a what?
Is it that high quality patch that I know?
It's the $20 patch. Yeah, I spent $20.
Hey, Yumper, you're absolutely right. Yumper is spot on, 100% right.
He's saying, hold on. I'm trying to join us for a post Pinwheels and Ivy pod and a pre from the 108 Wedgie. Join the chat. Bring some beers. Oh, come on, burst. I spelled it wrong. That's fine. I will go with that. And maybe I should add the link. That would probably be a good idea.
It might help.
Fucking idiot. I'm fired. Boom. Nobody saw that because nobody knows to hear me say the F word. Except if you're on Aldo's page. My bad about that.
I don't think Dad. I follow this Aldo.
You don't follow Aldo?
I don't think so.
You need some. You'd love it. Aldo. So
there's a lot of people that I come across that I'm like, all this. Like you, I only followed you like a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago.
Until our little Google or a meet. Was it a meet or a what is it?
I mean, after I was on the
Zoom.
After we had the 108 after fest, it was like just after
the
that
after party.
Yeah.
It was before that. We did the Friday night thing. We were because I felt like I knew you when you were on like the beer draft. I was like,
could be. It might have been right before.
Him and Luke. I know these guys. There we go. Luke, all right, so I dropped it. So see if anybody actually shows up. We got one person's here. Is Luke here? No, Lily Upper's here though. We got 13. Whoa, Jesus.
What's the price? Oh, there's all
right.
Comments.
Last time though, I was. Yeah. The comments are where we really make our. That's where we get our.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna. My sock summer should be on this just to give it back to me because I'm going to give it to him, very soon when they start their podcast. Because I can't.
Well, that's half the show.
It's true. Oh, did we lose
on their podcast? Yeah, we lost him a while ago. I don't know what happened.
Oh, he's probably redoing. Hold on.
Yeah, something.
Here it comes.
You guys are the whole show. I won't be that fun because I'm not drinking really. I mean, I am drinking, but it's Thursday.
Well, I mean, you're not drinking. See, you're drinking, but you're not drinking heavy.
Yeah, I'm not drinking normal.
So, have you ever are you familiar with West Coast? West Coast. I mean, you're the beer guy, right?
I mean, I'm familiar with some, but I don't get too many of them. I mean, I've had AleSmith, and I mean, I've heard about some that I would like to get that is impossible to find, that Pliny the Elder and the Younger and all those ones. Those are supposed to be top-notch beers from California, and it's impossible to get unless I get somebody to send it to me.
Well, how does one send a?
You ship it, then FedEx or UPS or something.
No, federal.
Well, you just do it, and that's it.
Break.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm back. Now
I'm out of
jail. I'll put you on timeout.
Yeah, no, there's lots of people that they call it beer trades, and you pack up maybe 5 or 6 beers and send it to somebody, and then they'll send it back, some stuff from their area back to you.
Yumper gets the tequila.
You just when they ask you what's in there, you just say, not beer.
Yeah, monkey piss.
Yeah, nothing breakable, no
Right.
fluids.
No fluids, no herpes. Oh, see, want it. How did you get booted, by the way? I'm like, all these like noses are coming, by the way, Pete. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I went to log in for the comments, and it asked me for a code number, and it booted me out.
I'm the bouncer, motherfucker. You can't do this. No.
So in the comments area, I can't comment right now. I could, but it'd probably boot me out, and you'd have to let me back in.
Oh, yeah, no.
I mean, you just respond to them
like
on
in
the
all
video.
of life. Never respond to the comments unless you're gonna do it verbally. You don't want to type it anyway. So I did that the first time we did our podcast. I posted a comment and it was like posted it on like Facebook, Twitter. We have like 3 formats. I'm like, oh, I'm not supposed to do that. So yeah, learning the old StreamYard. But
Yeah.
so yeah, we're here. It's the Wedgie Show. We're wedging ourselves between the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast and the From the 108 8 p.m. broadcast. So we got a 5 p.m. We got an 8 p.m. But what do you do when it's the midway point? If you've been a good soldier and you've been watching the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast, you either have it on your screen on your television like Mr. Han does, like Pete does. He's and my man Jack, if you're watching, I'm sure you have it on there. I just
Mailman
hope
Jack
you put
was
the tissue in
steaks a little while
I hope he
ago.
puts the lotion and the tissue down if he's putting us on the big screen. But this is obviously a little bit different of a show. This is again, if you've been drinking a little bit and you've had fun with the Pinwheels, but you love and you're waiting for the fun, we got to kill some time. Like nobody wants to like stop drinking, right? Nobody wants to stop talking sports. We get into it, but now we've gone from baseball. Now we're just going to talk shit. So we're going to talk beer. We got Jim here, who is our resident beer expert. I actually feel judged if I don't. So I went today, and because I knew that he didn't know this, maybe, but I knew that he was going to come on because I was going to peer pressure him.
I appreciate that, by the way. I was just sitting around debating on to start dinner, and you're like, I saw the tweet, like, oh, I guess he does want me on, like half hour. Like, thanks a lot. Because I just asked you yesterday, like, hey.
I got a lot of DMs. I got a shitload of DMs yesterday. I'm sorry, but if you'll notice that Jim is not wearing a hat right now, so. Normally, Jim has at least 17 hats per episode of appearances. I feel like I'm happy to know. Like it's like Tony Danza when you watched Who's the Boss. I never really was sure that Tony Danza actually had a top half of his ears because his hair always covered the ears. I was never actually sure that you had a top of the head or that you had hair in general.
No, I really do. I have a very large head.
Well, it's good. Me too. I think all three of us actually can.
My hat size is 7 7/8.
So is mine.
Is it?
That's
a good
7 3/8.
Yeah,
you're a pinhead.
Yeah, that's tiny.
I'm kind of a pinhead. Okay, so I'll exempt myself. You guys have large fucking heads, but I'm gonna drink some High West real quick. Thank you guys for showing up. We're gonna kill this timeout. Little Yumper, what the hell do you got? What are you drinking? And in fact, in the chat, what are you guys drinking right now? I know none of us are drinking a blue UV fish bowl like last week. So what are we drinking and what are we talking about? Like shit, what did you guys watch this week? You guys, I mean, did baseball happen? Have you guys watched movies? Do you guys have a cool beer to share? Fuck, who cares?
I have watched something. Have you guys seen this Allen versus Pharaoh documentary? It's on HBO.
No. I'm not a documentary kind of person. Maybe my wife would probably like it. She likes that stuff.
If you're a Woody Allen fan,
the Woody Allen doc. Yes, that's gonna
like
a 7-part series.
Yes, you won't be a Woody Allen fan after watching this.
I mean,
I'm
pretty sure if you've been paying attention, you're not a Woody Allen fan when he started banging his stepdaughter. But she was like,
no, it gets worse than that.
Oh, this is like a total divorce hearing, like doc.
This is basically Mia Farrow talking to the camera and just destroying the guy.
Oh, that's just I mean, hey, you know what?
I mean, they haven't even gotten to the stepdaughter or whoever it was.
Oh, it's just creepy time, like creepy 60s, 70s. Woody Allen?
It's creepy late 70s, 80s.
Okay, which makes sense. Sure.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys go ahead.
When he first met Mia Farrow, and it basically starts when he met Mia Farrow is where the documentary starts.
Okay.
And
now, if you're not a controversy kind of like person, right? If that's not your thing, Netflix on yesterday actually released Age of Samurai on obviously on because it was Netflix, so on Netflix, but it is incredible. I binge watched. I'm there. I think there's 7 episodes, maybe 8, and I'm on like 4. But it literally takes you like again. Most Americans are like, I saw the Tom Cruise movie. That was at the end of the samurai age. This is like legit like 1400s. This is when Japan was trying to like unify. And so if you were a fan of military strategy, if you're a fan of like really learning about some pretty like cool, but like not always like, again, we always think that like our historical heroes are like perfect. Like if you were a badass general in 1400s, you were also a genocidal maniac. Like you can't like, so it actually really covers like the 3 big dogs. Last Samurai is a good film. It sure is, but it's the end of the samurai era. It's when it was watered down. This is like when it was legitimately like everybody was literally cutting out their own bowels because they didn't want to like lose their battle. And it is so cool. Like to like, again, it takes you through, it's like 1400s. It's but again, I saw it the other night on like a preview and I'm like, I gotta watch this. And so yesterday it came out Wednesday. I started watching it and I'm like, I can't turn this off. I cannot turn this off. It's so good because it has like the reenactments and it does like the map. It's like again, if you're into military strategy and you're someone that really cares about chess, like you're someone that like appreciates like that, like alliances and like if you play video games or the Game of Thrones, it is a real life historical documentation of what inspired all these things. And it's so cool to see like the one guy, there's I forget his name. He carves his own eye out because he had a smallpox, but he had an eye that was like, he was blind and people judged him for his eye because it was a wandering eye. So he just cut it out and put a patch on. He became the one-eyed dragon and scared everybody and conquered like half the continent of, or half the country of Japan. Like it was so cool. I'm like, oh, who's this guy? And then of course you dig deep into the Wikipedia so that's a good one. So first off, since Jim,
I mean, yeah, well, you got Pete watching documentary. You're watching like historical, stuff. I'm just been over here watching South Park all week. I've seen it like 1,000 times.
March 10th. What is the vaccination special?
Oh, yeah, the vaccination special. Yeah, I haven't.
Oh, yeah.
But it was like the other one. It was okay, the pandemic special or whatever. But like I was expecting there to be like a new season or something. Mm-hmm. It's like not that they can't record. There's only a few of them that do everything. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I've seen every episode 1,000 times, but like I haven't seen it all like unedited. And with it being on HBO Max, like I've been watching it all. It has all the cussing, and it just like really adds a new dimension to it, and it's fantastic.
I think that's the best working satire on television today, to be honest. Like that's the best TV satire we have, period.
Yeah, those guys are awesome.
I do have to ask you a question about that because you're saying that the profanity and everything else is not bleeped out now, correct?
Right.
Is it because I remember when the Osbournes first came on back in 2001 or whatever.
Right, yeah.
And basically everything Ozzy said was bleeped out.
Right.
Then I bought the first season DVD. Don't ask me why. I don't know. And they had where you could watch it with the edits and where you could watch it uncensored. And it just lost something for me uncensored.
You know what? With South Park, it's not that bad. I mean, it's Ozzy be different because, like you said, every other word was. But it's still. I mean, it's tasteful.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're cussing that much, and there's still a lot on TV. I mean, like the one episode where the shit hits the fan, and they say shit 163 times.
Mm-hmm.
So
is that the one with the poop? The poop.
No, that was the curse word. Where shit is actually a curse word, a word of curse.
And they did the ticker on the bottom, right? Didn't they have? Or was that the F word? Which one's the one they had the ticker from how many times they could use the word?
That was shit.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah, it was like shit.
Yeah.
Which is funny because after 10 p.m. on pay cable, you could say whatever the hell you want.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, I remember going to see the South Park movie.
Oh,
great movie.
And I missed probably 5 minutes of the movie because I was laughing so hard when Cartman did the what's the big fucking deal, bitch?
Yeah.
In the classroom, and he gave that whole speech.
It doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah,
I think
and he broke into the song. I probably lost the next 5 minutes of the movie because I was laughing so hard.
I think that Trey Parker and Matt Stone have made our life better.
I would agree.
I mean, I hate to say this as a teacher, and I legitimately endorse South Park to my students regularly. Like, I don't know if
Have
that's
you
a
seen
perfect
like?
thing to say.
Get out of here.
Oh, wait, that's not your arm. Oh my God, you do more like forearm work.
Have you seen like the Book of Mormon or anything?
Oh,
I mean,
I
want
have
to, but
yeah.
All About Mormons is my number one episode in South Park history.
Yeah.
Secondarily, they also did Orgasmo, which was
yep.
Yes, I
Also-
saw Orgasmo.
fantastic. Other than Ron Jeremy now going to prison for
Yeah.
fucking rapist, but we've got like it is such a
Just
fantastic
Master
like,
Zero.
slip your ass. Like, I don't know. I actually how many times I
They're having a party in there.
about that. I was talking about a guy talking about.
I can't
slapping
put up a
his ass.
background on this one.
I didn't even know you had a kid. You have a kid?
One, yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank
First
you.
off, your sperm works. Excellent.
Yeah.
But no, that Orgasmo might be one of the more if you have not seen Orgasmo and you're actually one of the 7 people listening right now. Holy hell. It's South Park ish, but it's obviously you take the porn industry and the little guy. What's the little guy's name? He's also in Squeak from basketball.
Yeah.
Squeak is in there. He's like oh my god.
He's
like the
Chota Boy.
Yep,
Chota
Chota Boy.
Yeah.
What a great,
wasn't it?
What an underrated film. Like those guys, they did the Cannibal the Musical too. Basketball.
Oh yeah.
Cannibal
Horse
the
basketball.
Musical, also underrated. They did a Donner Party.
That was before
musical.
Orgasmo.
Yes, it was. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Those
that was
dudes.
really old.
Oh,
I
those
tuned in.
guys.
It wasn't the same. It was a little old, but
Yeah. Oh,
But go ahead.
go ahead, Jeff. Go.
Well, I was just gonna say when the first time I saw Orgasmo, like I didn't really know like what I was getting into, and he's doing the door to door stuff. And there's like the nice old lady, and she's like, "Oh, you can take that and fuck right off." like, oh, this is gonna be that kind of movie.
Yeah, I have not. I've seen Orgasmo the movie. I have not seen Book of Mormon, or was it Cannibal? You said I never even heard of that one. To be completely honest with you.
Yeah, that one's really
Mormon's
old.
actual stage play, but Cannibal the Musical was like a college project. I think they did when they were
Okay.
At like
Yeah.
with it, they weren't at BYU. They were like at
Right.
Utah State or like some like
Something like
Jack
that.
Mormon.
Yeah.
Like
It's
place,
it's pretty bad, honestly.
Yeah.
I
but
turned
those
it
dudes
off.
have such a good understanding of like the Mormons they've come into contact with. Again, I'm not gonna like deride the Mormon faith or whatever, but those guys their experiences are like, again, they spare no expense. Like it doesn't matter who you are. The greatest
Right.
South Park episode besides All About Mormons to me is the episode where they pushed CBS to the limit and they didn't tell CBS what they were doing with their episode until CBS had to censor the picture of Muhammad, the prophet. And I thought that again at the time it was the stuff that was going on, the attack on the French, was it the French place that had done like a comic that
paper.
insulted obviously the
You're talking about
and
the
so there was like
newspaper,
a big
right?
thing. And so yeah, and CBS and whatever their parent company was like terrified, and so they basically made it like it was the Family Guy episode. It was the oh hey Peter, like where they're like they figured out how like Family Guy makes their episode with the smart, was it like a seal or a dolphin or
Yeah.
like an old whale or whatever. And they put CBS so hard on the spot that CBS like obviously didn't know what was happening. And I love the fact that they made the corporation so uncomfortable because they had no choice. You're not going to cancel
Right.
South Park.
Right. Absolutely not. I got to tell you, my favorite episode of South Park may have been,
That was it.
yeah, my favorite episode may have been in the first season, and it was the one where I think it was Natasha Henstridge was the substitute teacher,
Oh,
and they talked about her being a lesbian, and
Cartman
and they had
says, my mom says to be a lesbian, you got to lick a lot of carpet.
yes, and Cartman says, she's gonna love how big of a lesbian I am.
They understand the communication. Like people, again, like you can't be too sensitive to enjoy satire.
Yes.
Regardless. Again, I'm a high school teacher, and I tell my students, I go, well, the best satire you could ever watch is South Park. We're not watching it in class.
Right.
So you ask your parents. If your parents, and I figure like their parents are like our age, right? Like, well, Jim aside, but me and Pete, our age.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you're actually based on the arm length of the ET run back and forth. Like, ET runs back and forth in ET when he's like getting out of the closet or whatever. I'm not saying your kids come out of the closet, but I'm just saying like the running back and forth was great. And that's what but like South Park has always been like the ultimate satire that is what we need as a society. It's the I'm going to make fun of everyone.
Yes.
In fact, it would be discriminatory if they didn't make fun of you. In fact, if you've been left out, you could sue them. You should sue them because in fact they'll be upset that they know they didn't make fun of you. So like if you're like a new subset of a subset, like they didn't know about you. That's what makes them so beautiful. And they write their episodes 6-7 days before the episode airs. Like it's beautiful,
fresh,
relevant.
Have you seen that documentary?
Best documentary of TV production. I show it to my class every year. I actually do, and I obviously I bleep out the bleepies, or I get a parental consent. So I'm going to show a documentary about how they made South Park. Are you guys okay with this? Sign. Yeah. Okay. Please God, don't let them come.
I love that
on public too.
I love that he has his daughter do like the voices like for Ike or whatever. You ever see that one? Where she said, you're a fat bitch.
I just, it's funny because remember the episode where they ripped with Tali and Oprah?
Yeah, the million little fibers.
Million little
when Oprah sponsored or that her book club had that one guy's book and it turns out it was fake.
Right.
And I just remember she's turning on us. What are we gonna do? When Tali was going off about that.
No, that because was the one where you have Gary, which is Oprah's vagina and her butthole talking to each other. That's what it was. Oh, Gary.
Yeah, and because I'm trying to think. Now, wasn't George Clooney one of the
Minji and Gary? That's what it is.
Yeah, there you go. Minji. Wasn't George Clooney one of the guys who like first sponsored them or something?
Yes, George Clooney was on the opening credits, and so was a really like kind of was it Branham Airlines?
Braniff.
Yeah, I remember it shows it at the end, the airplane or something.
Yeah,
I can't remember
because I thought George Clooney saw one of their shorts and liked it, and he had them do something for him, and that's how they got. That's how they got the money to sort of expand. Because George Clooney, doesn't he do the voice of the doctor who puts the baked potato in? Kenny,
he did
in the movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good call.
And the movie.
Damn it! Who put the baked potato in?
They love Gary Clooney, like George Clooney at the beginning. Like George Clooney, I think was like actually a big part of like how they were successful because he was he loved the humor. Like he was totally like into it.
Yes.
So, and of course, of obviously killing, Kyle, like killing it, third grader every episode is pretty appealing. Too, but
and
geez, what a great, like seriously, like again, South Park, like you were excited today because they announced the new Beavis and Butt-Head release.
Yes,
Pete? Did they really?
Yes, Beavis and Butt-Head. Like, today we look and go, what a big deal! But like old guys screaming at the clouds. Jim, you didn't know this when Beavis and Butt-Head came out. It was like the freaking end of the world.
What, how young do you think I am?
Well, I think you're at least 32?
30, yeah, I was going to say 33.
Of course, I've seen all the Beavis and Butt-Heads and everything.
But I don't
think you watched them when you were at. I'm sure your parents actually probably masked you.
No,
from.
When I remember how huge it was when Beavis and Butt-Head made the cover of Rolling Stone magazine in like the Elvis Presley A Million Fans Won't Hold Us Back album cover?
Mhm.
Because they were on Rolling Stone twice. That, and then when the movie came out, Pamela Anderson was dressed as Santa Claus with them on her lap.
Yeah.
And,
Again, pushing the envelope.
yes. And I remember because it was Ren and Stimpy. And I was a huge Ren and Stimpy fan. And then Beavis and Butthead came along, and I'm like, oh, I'm done with Ren and Stimpy. I'm going over here.
So, Jim, we just pushed beyond this threshold, but Log, Mr. Was it Mr. Toastman? No, Mr. Super Toastman. With Ren and Stimpy. God, Ren and Stimpy. Was it Toast?
It's been so
Super
long
Toastman?
since.
I can't remember.
I can picture him. He literally is.
I have a video from my sophomore year. Yep, sophomore year of high school. I have a video, and one day, Powder Toastman. There it is, Powder Toastman. I have a video from me, a sophomore project that I did. King Arthur, by the way. So it's supposed to be British. It's really bad. I wore my buddy's mom's bathrobe and put a hockey sock on my head with a poster board in it, so it looked like a Merlin hat, but it really was. It's amazing, terrible. And I go, come on, give it to me. And
Stimpy, you idiot!
Eat. You know where he comes from? The dude from not is it Maltese Falcon? Maltese Falcon, the actor from Maltese.
Peter Lorre.
Peter Lorre, yep. You idiot! You stupid!
Yeah.
It's him. But that dude is again brilliant. They've obviously Nickelodeon doesn't exist without Ren and Stimpy, and that is a juggernaut. But same thing with South Park, man. South Park Comedy Central doesn't exist without that parody. They should embrace it and let it rip.
Yep. Because I remember when Comedy Central was showing reruns of Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah.
Before
they had nothing, no content.
Right. They had no content whatsoever. Before they would show that, and they would show at least once a week, they would show Richard Pryor live on the Sunset Strip. But it sucked because they had everything edited.
Which is no fun.
Yeah.
All right, real quick. Beer Garden. All right, excuse me. James. This is Swami Ale from Pizza Port.
Okay, I've had Pizza Port.
I don't normally do this. So this is the Swami Ale. Now, every time I go to San Diego, the first time I went to San Diego, I went to a place called the Neighborhood Bar. Now, if you go into the Neighborhood Bar and you go to the bathroom and you skip the bathroom and you push through the kegs and you push, it becomes a speakeasy called the Noble Experience. They don't serve this there. They serve cocktails. They have skulls on the wall, spray painted gold. It's a like you talk to the bartender, they make your cocktails, but it's in San Diego. When you walk back out, you're still in the Neighborhood Bar. First time I had this, I was shit canned thanks to the Noble Experience and or experiment, excuse me. And I was like, okay, well, can we buy beer? And they're like, no, nothing is open. It's sorry. Again, last call for me is a weird thing in Vegas. We don't have that.
Right.
I was going to say,
liquor stores don't stop selling beer at 3 a.m. You could just buy beer and pizza roll at 4. It's fine. And so they were like, we'll sell you this. So they sold me this case and me and my girlfriend drank it and it was glorious. So I'm going to drink some Pizza Port now to celebrate our resident beer expert because Jim is the beer guy. We got Aloha Pete with the Jack Daniels whiskey expert. And that was a weird sound. So
yeah, well, I don't know what that was.
That was I have my phone linked to my Alexa. So it's telling me someone's calling me on my phone right now, but
that's good.
I'm not going to.
Do you have a glass?
No, I'm drinking straight out of the fucking can. Well, I mean, I have
a glass, but
you got to. If it's a good beer, you got to try to drink it out of a glass.
You mean
it releases the aromas? Yeah, there you go.
Oh, you guys are way too fancy for me. Just chug the
That's
damn
a nice
thing.
Bougie shit right here. Look at this.
Yeah,
look at
just
this.
chug the damn thing.
That's a lot of head.
No, that's okay.
Giggity.
But head. I also read this.
Smell.
Hold on.
It gives you smell. There's a lot of smell in there. Yeah, there you go.
I feel some and
is there some vanilla in there? And
I hope not.
hints of Swami. Hints of,
I want you to
recorder
do the
if you're
full-
playing hot cross buns.
Now I want you to do the sideways where you like got your one hand up to your ear and you're like,
How strong is it? What's the ABV?
It is a so it obviously the can's 16 ounces. We know this, but it is a 6.8. It's an IPA 6.8, so it's
that's solid.
It's solid. You drink a
regular
pack of this in a small shitty hotel on Hotel Circle Drive in San Diego, and you will be happy. You also need an Uber for the rest of San Diego.
Hotel Circle Drive? Is that in the Gaslight District or?
No. So if you go to San Diego, if you're going to travel to San Diego, you obviously can go to Gaslamp, Balboa Park area. Oh yeah. So the Gaslamp is like it's like going to it's like staying like a
Is it like Ybor City in Tampa?
I don't know about Tampa. I'm thinking of Chicago like comparisons. It's kind of like being like in the North Park area, like north oh god, like by Harry Carey's, like the whole area where they have like all the breweries, like kind of like everyone's hipster kind of. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. So it's in San Diego, that's like one area. But then Hotel Circle is a totally weird. It is literally where it's a cheap. We stay there for baseball too, so that's actually why I go there all the time. Is because I get a really cheap room at a place that's basically right up on the freeway though. Like you are centrally located in San Diego. They're not the best. They're not the best hotels. They're just regular like Holiday Inn style hotels. There's some the place I stay at is 100% like it's kind of try to be a boutique hotel, but it's literally you get into the room and it's like a regular hotel. Like they just try to like get cute and their front sign is cool, but it's really just a motel, like a really motel. But it's a whole group of them and they're inexpensive. But you're centrally on the I-8, which is like the big like San Diego like throughfare. So you can get on there and get to Balboa Park, which is the San Diego Zoo and some of the best museums I've ever been to in my life, besides Chicago. They have like the art museums there. They have the Museum of Natural History. They've got, I was looking for Job and Tobias and the banana stand. It's fictional apparently. So there is no banana stand, but it's a great place to go. Or you can hop on and go to the beaches. It's called like 5 beaches. You go and you go to Mission, Pacific, all that. Or you can keep going and you can go up to like Sedona and like Sedona, whatever area, and you can have a good time. Like if you're not, so I'll just put it this way: if you're a dude that's not trying to like woo a woman, or you have a badass hip chick that wants to just crash at like a hotel, because it's not about like where you're staying, it's about where you're going. Hotel Circle is where it's at. If you go to San Diego, it's an inexpensive way to get quality lodging. You can choose it out. Everything
is there a lot of hotels.
And everything is 100% like Uber friendly. Like I don't spend more than $100 in 5 days in that area without having to drive my own car. So my car's safe, no risk of DUIs, no Tony La Russas. It's just you just rock in there. You let them take you. There's so many different places. Again, San Diego I will always associate with San Diego. It's Schwami IPA from Pizza Port, established 1987.
Hey, that's when I was born.
So
she's now
this was just for you, Jim. Just for you.
Yeah, perfect.
I did this for you. It's all for you.
I just opened a phase 3. This is one of Luke. Luke's on here now.
Oh, Luke just got here. Hey, Luke.
Hey, Luke.
You just joined us because you're next week, Jim. Luke, you're next week's Jim. Next week's Jim. So Luke is next week's Jim. Luke is going to run cross country for us while he does the podcast. So he's going to actually have to do this with a GoPro.
Yes. And Luke is part of the 108, or the founder. Let me get that right. The founder of the 108 Run Club, whose purpose is to run 108 miles by opening day.
Which is just ridiculous.
But it seems like he's got a pretty good.
Stupid.
Nobody
likes to run, Luke.
Yeah, it seems like he's got a pretty good handle on it.
Adam, does Adam know you, Jim?
Yeah.
Is he being sarcastic?
No, he's. It's a joke.
Yeah.
It's a dumb joke started by Luke.
Adam.
Oh, Luke, don't say it ain't
Figure it
so,
out.
Luke.
Come on,
Hey,
Luke.
Luke,
Come on, Luke. By the way, Luke got vaccinated though. Luke taught 24 hours after getting his second vaccination. I am proud of him. He made it. He felt like shit, and he had to he's a driver's ed teacher in some of it, so he had to actually sit in a car post vaccination with high school drivers, which is horrible. It's not just nervous; it's also being on a bad roller coaster, like at Coney Island, where you're sure the track's going to break. So good for Luke. He's but next week he's going to have to do a live jog for this podcast.
There you go. Hey, and I have a question for Luke. Luke, as a driver's ed instructor, when I took driver's ed, and I went to Gage Park High School, a CPS school, we had the simulators in a trailer outside of the school. And
they don't know this.
I know they don't. And I'm going to ask about, do they still have that corny Blood Runs Red on the Highway type movie that they show in driver's ed?
Oh, it's so terrible. No, I hope God, please tell me they've updated something digital. At least it's not a protected.
No, here, I'll tell you.
Red asphalt? I didn't want to drive on the freeway because of that fucking movie. God dang it.
I remember.
I was terrified.
Yeah, when I took driver's ed, we had to go out with the instructor, and we were basically, for lack of a better way to put it, the instructor's bitch. Yeah. So
he had the secondary brake pad.
No, I don't mean that. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if he would take us to run his errands. So I got to drive from Gage Park High School to Comiskey Park. The guy I was with got to drive from Comiskey Park back to Gage Park High School. So he could go buy tickets for Sox games. And also, one of the things we would do, and I'll never forget this, one guy I was in driver's ed with was fucking around with the simulator, and he started singing "I Can't Drive 55" and just started smashing everything in the simulator, and he's screaming, "I can't drive 55." We're like, "Shut up! You're not Sammy Hagar."
The only thing I remember about my driver's ed teacher is I used to do the drives in the morning, and every morning he had a Diet Coke, and he would just burp holding it in, but I could hear it. And it was just disgusting. He's 7:30 in the morning. He's burping the whole time. Stop! What are you drinking Diet Coke for this early?
Hey, look at Yumper and Luke know exactly what I'm talking about.
Do you have see? Luke knows what I'm talking about. Take me to White Castle. Now, can you handle the drive-through? Make sure you order properly. Now, did you roll down your window? Were you respectful? I give you an A for the day because you ordered the proper order. You didn't insult the person at the window, and you also handed over your card in a socially distanced manner. That is a win, right?
And you paid for mine.
So, when I was in high school, we had Donald Lovelace. I was actually lucky enough that the guy that taught me how to drive actually taught my dad how to drive. Same high school, same teacher. He was a young pup. He was 23 when my dad had him. He was the cool guy, with the cool hair and the Mustang. When I got him, he was the cool teacher with the toupee with the comb over that was dating the 24-year-old teacher that just got out of college. Same guy, still awesome. And yes, his wife was the most exquisitely, I don't want to be misogynistic, but she was beautiful. I'm a big redhead fan. And he was a redhead too, but he had a toupee. So anyway, I learned to drive from the same guy that taught my dad how to drive. When I'm actually when I took driver's ed actually the summer before my junior year, which means I took it I'm an April baby, but I took it in the summer, so I totally had my my learner's permit for a year, and so I had his class. And then we were dating these good girls, I guess you will call them. I don't know if they ever would listen to this podcast, but Christy Pulowski and Allison Edwards, if you're listening, this is your fault. But me and my best friend, This is a great story too. This is total suburbs of Chicago. Like, so the parents went out of town. Now, stories for days, Cub Zone. Stories for days, weeks. But
what suburb are you from?
So I went to Lake Park, so Northwest. Out there, Bloomingdale, Roselle, Schaumburg, Shelton.
Yeah.
I was born at
I'm in
Alexian
Arlington
Brothers in
Heights.
Elk Grove. Okay, so I was born at Alexian Brothers in Elk Grove. That's my birthplace. That's where my mom shat me out. But anyway, so Christy Pulowski, Allison Edwards were the two most beautiful girls at our school. No offense to any of the rest of our school. I was in love with Allison Edwards. Beautiful. She was Michelle Pfeiffer in Grease 2. That's
hubba.
I'm sorry. That's
were you the cool rider that she was looking for?
Oh, I thought I was. She made me a ring once. She made me a fake ring, but that was cool. But it was after this week. So this week was what happened. My best friend, his
Sean,
parents went out of town.
Condolences.
Yeah, I know. That's okay.
That had to be rough.
I won the deal because my girlfriend's like 10 years younger than me now, and she's basically Allison too. Beautiful blonde, blue eyes. But Allison, she so her and Christy Pulowski, they were the cool girls at our high school at Lake Park. They were the class of 94's hat ones. One was I think a honey bear, I think actually at one point. And so whatever. My buddy's Justin, his parents leave for the week. Like they were gone for a week and they trusted us. Again, Justin is the other pastor's kid. I'm a pastor's kid. So I was like, ID. No, I don't need one. Yeah, it's Fiddler. He's a pastor's kid. I'm going to steal your wallet. But so
Just tell me you had a McLovin ID. That's all I want to hear.
I never had a fake ID. I never had to use one. You know why? I used suspension of disbelief. I walked in. I used Jedi mind tricks. I could tell you stories for days where I'm like, don't worry about it. And I waved it in front of their face and they're like, gotcha. Like it was like, don't worry about it. But anyway, so we love these girls. And so I had my permit, my learner's permit that we get when you like finish driver's ed and whatever. And so Justin was actually older than me. My best friend was older than me. So he actually was a December baby, but he didn't have that. He was taking driver's ed in the fall. But his parents went out of town and they had this thing. We called it the grocery getter or the bulge, only because the ceiling was literally dropping down. Like, I'm talking about when the ceiling cloth comes down.
Oh yeah.
Look, Pete, you know this.
Yeah.
Old station wagons, like that shit was just like the ceiling. Like if you pull down like the, it was probably cancerous.
Yeah. I know
it was terrible. So he had a station wagon. His mom did. They left town, and these girls were like, "Hey, we're out in Schaumburg, right by the Denny's off of 20 off Lake Street. Come on out." So sure, fuck. I'm like, I'll get in the car. Cram out, whatever. And we hung out. We made them like dinner, and I was such a dork. I had no idea. Like I was scared to I'm a junior in high school. I'm scared of women. Like it was terrible. And so, no idea. I wasn't trying. Like there was no hookup. There was no like hookup. Like and I actually she had like a guy that I knew that she was like attached to at our high school, and he was like a graduate, and he was my friend Frank's like older brother, and he would literally beat the shit out of me. So I was totally playing the rules out of that fear. And so anyway, we drove out there. So no big deal. And then they came to our place. And he's like, "Hey, we're going to do another night." I'm like, "Damn, that's like 4 nights in a row. All right. I want to make spaghetti for them." So I'm like, I'm making special homemade spaghetti, which was me throwing tomato, a little bit of tomato paste, and then ragu into like a jug. Like it was fake. It was so full of shit. So full of shit. And then whatever. It was good. They're like, "Oh, Shooge spaghetti." My nickname in high school was Shooge because I used to slur. I would say that thing is Shooge. So they called me Shooge. Letter jacket says Shooge. So that's why when Justin comes on the podcast earlier, he called me Shooge. That was my nickname in high school. Nobody knew my first name. It was Shooge. It was Shooge Fiddler. Like I'm like, my first name is Kevin. So it's like Screech. I felt like Screech, I'll be honest. Rest in peace. And so anyway, so these like the last day of the whole week his parents were away. These gorgeous, beautiful, blue-eyed blonde, just again, absolutely gorgeous women. They're like, "Well, we're down at the Oak Street Beach, northwest suburbs, Oak Street Beach." Now, anybody that can do the math knows that not fucking a block away.
Right.
So just my buddy Jet comes up. He goes, "Hey, they're at the Oak Street Beach. Do you want to drive down there?" And my response, and to this day, he'll never let me live this down. I go, "Now?" Like it was an inconvenience. Not like, no, I shouldn't drive. No, we're 15. No, this stupid fucking station wagon is a shit show. No, it was now. Like I think I was watching I don't know what I was watching. Okay. And so we went down. We took them on a whole, it was amazing. It was one of those, again, when the weekend was over, she made me she took a lug nut that was the size of my finger. She measured it and she did this whole zip tie ring. I was like, oh my God, this what? And Frank's going to kill me now. So I was like, oh my God. But then Justin's parents came home.
You thought she wanted you, didn't you?
Oh, I mean, I think she did. Think I was a marriageable, but I wasn't the cool guy. I was the guy that she would like to, love her. She was.
I'm come to the parents.
You
guys, I am the sappiest son of a bitch ever. If you date me, neither of you will have to worry about this. God. But
thanks. I'm into redheads.
And you're a redhead, so Pete.
No, even though if I do grow my goatee out, it does turn red.
So anyway, Justin's parents come home and they're like, "Who moved? Who moved the getter?"
That's not red.
Getter. Oh yeah, that's so white.
That's white.
No, that's true.
What's left there is white, I should say.
Put the hat back on though. It's a good idea. I like the pitching ninja hat. But anyway, so Justin's parents came home and I'm like, hi. And I loved them. They trusted us obviously they trusted me like that. I was their own kid. I was a younger one, but so who moved to Getter? And they called it the grocery Getter because they would only drive it to Piggly Wiggly and back there in Roselle on I want to say Irving Park Road and just before you got to Roselle Road. So
was it Piggly Wiggly or Moo and Oink?
It was a Piggly Wiggly. It was a full-on Piggly. I mean, that's where I cut my teeth driving to Piggly Wiggly, 18 inches outside of their house. And then his mom's like, "Oh, by the way, you're stupid, all of you, both of you." I'm like, "Huh?" She's like, "First off, the back tail light's out. Actually, the front headlight is out as well. So you have nothing." I'm like, "No big deal. We were driving good." The expiration date on that license plate sticker was 3 years ago. I drove around Chicago illegally for literally 2 days, not knowing that this shitty ass station wagon. Whew,
you were safe. Don't worry. Right? You were safe if it wasn't the end of the month. The only time you have to worry about that is the end of the month.
That's a good point. But we drove down to the Oak Street Beach, and my God, that was a great weekend. My God.
Oh yeah.
But the grocery getter, I will always permanently love station wagons for that reason. Also, my papa had one, and I used to always tell him when I was a kid, "When you die, I get your station wagon." He's like, "I'm dying soon." I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to take it anyway."
No, when I was a kid, we had a station wagon, and every year, my mom would pile me and my sister. My aunt would pile my cousins in, and we'd all drive down to Florida for 2 weeks. And I don't know what I did to deserve this, but spending July in Florida, it was a little warm and humid.
As a redhead?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was brutal. And I could tell you in all honesty, when I was a teenager, during the summers, I labored. I was a laborer, to make extra money. And let me tell you, making union scale.
So you did the Lord's work, by the way, which is a hard thing for most kids to understand today. When you labor, you understand and appreciate what a college education can do for you.
Oh yeah, I was lugging drywall up a ladder, and so I was making union scale as a high school kid in the summers between junior, senior year and everything else. It was freaking awesome. But my hair would turn white from being out in the sun so much. So I remember going into a 7-Eleven one day and the woman's like, "Excuse me, how did you get your hair that color? What kind of dye do you use? I'm like, it's called sunlight. But yeah, I've heard it for years that I dye my hair, and my mom is a natural blonde, and she's got the gray mixed in with the blonde right now, where it looks really, really sharp. And people are always approaching her. I'm like, she's 84 years old. Do you think she really she thinks she really cares about her hair color?
Oh, my mom is a little younger, but she's Italian, so everything's supposed to be black.
Yeah.
So it's a dye week every week. Yeah. But
nope,
not a dyed week, please.
Yeah. I tell people, is that your natural? I'm like, look at my arms. Look at my eyebrows, for God's sakes. You can hardly see any there, for God's sakes. But,
so, Jim, I'm going to assume you're a redhead? No. You're brunette. You have a good hairline. You have a good hairline.
When I was a kid, I was blonde. I was like
say golden. It was golden. I wouldn't say blonde. Would you say golden or blonde?
It was
my shit was sun.
It probably was in the summer. It was probably like
sun.
It still does get lighter. It still gets lighter.
Sunning.
No, but like when I was like 4 or 5 years old, I mean, it was like really super blonde. But I mean, now it's like brunette, brown hair. But yeah, in the summer when I cut it a little shorter and I get in the sun, it does lighten up a lot.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
He said 1 sec.
Yeah.
What do you guys, let me ask, so you're talking about working in the summer.
Yeah.
Do you guys in the suburbs know anything about corn detasseling? Have you ever heard of that?
I have no idea.
So, I'm from like more central Illinois,
okay.
LaSalle, Peru, if you know where that is. Yeah. So they used to hire kids, young kids for cheap labor. You used to walk through the fields and you detassel the corn. It is a thing that you're supposed to pull out. It's like a male, female type of thing.
Okay.
And you just walk down in 100-degree heat. You pull these stupid things out and you throw them on the ground. It's like the dumbest thing ever. And like that kind of labor, Jim wants us to
talk about tassels. Jim or Luke, what kind of tassels do you want us to talk about? Because I could think of a certain type of tassel that I truly enjoy.
Hold on. You guys get to see this. So, this is the 108 sweatshirt, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
I told you my dog ate the left sleeve.
Yep.
Oh, wrong way. God damn it. This won't work. Hold on.
Would you put a golden knife?
He doesn't even know which way he's going.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I was trying to reverse it. But look at that. So, it's been veganized. So it's a 108 sweatshirt. My dog ate it, so I figured I would fizz it up, and that's what I got. She actually had to reverse it. She actually installed it. She went upside down, so I had to have her redo it. She actually put it upside down. Poor lady. I went in and I'm like, ma'am, it says VL now?
Yeah. Can I just say one thing? Hey, Luke, I think that's a great question for Merkin's next mailbag.
So he's also we have a thing what a Merkin is that my wife told me about because she watches this RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah.
Every time I say Scott Merkin, she's like, a Merkin, that's a toupee for your vagina.
Somebody? I thought Merc meant to like murder somebody. Is that
no? That's just Merc. Merc, not Merkin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was just learning from my students.
Yeah.
When they say Merc, I'm like, Merc, you kids. I'm like.
That's like Call of Duty stuff.
Yeah. And I'll say this. I've met Scott Merkin a couple times. He's a great guy. I'll just say that. His brother works for ESPN Radio, too.
He seems like a good guy.
Yeah, he is.
So, Jim and Pete, since we are in a beer-friendly area, what's the next beer? Now, I need to know. Should we go with?
Go Ninja.
Liquid
go Ninja.
Stand.
What are they both? Are they both what IPAs?
They're both hazy IPAs.
Okay. How
and
strong?
Then we have Disco Ninja.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like the Disco Ninja label.
Should we go there? So this is my friend's. This is my friend's brewery. It's down on the Arts District here in Vegas. Pete,
is that Einstein on there?
That is Einstein. Yep, they do all. It's all rubber duckies. So Abel Baker.
No, it's Doc
they do
Brown.
Atomic Duck. But
Yumper called it out. It's Doc Brown on there.
it is Doc Brown or Einstein. So all right, I'm gonna go with Disco Ninja.
What's it called?
like
Revision and
Revision. They also had Fuck Reno, but I chose this one. So I thought this would be less crassy. So
you like the hazies? I mean, they're all the rage right now.
I grabbed the cool. Like I was worried
Sometimes
about you
I go
judging
by
me for art. Well, you guys had the best art. Like you and Luke had the best art. Like I'm not sure how the beer tasted that night. But you and Luke were like literally like rolling out that draft with like fantastic like beer can art.
No,
so I really don't know what
great.
the taste is. I didn't care. I looked at art. I was going through the aisle at again. So you don't know this. In Vegas, we have a place called Total Wine. They're going to get one in Chicago soon. They were in the process of building one, and then COVID. But it is literally a fucking warehouse of beer, liquor, wine, everything. So you walk in there and you're like, which way do I?
How different from?
That's walking into a Target, but it's all liquor.
Oh, okay.
That's how big it is. It's huge.
Where are they going to build it? Arlington Heights?
I don't know. Check it out. I know they had a Chicago hyperlink. So I was like, what? Oh, I was making sure that you guys didn't have it before I like.
Total Wine. Oh, it's Total Wine and more.
Ooh.
Yes, and more is yes. They don't have just wine. They have beer, liquor. Oh, dude, I got this Swedish. You can try random shit. But I tried this Swedish vodka from them once, and I'm like, it was like $11 because it was like it's like some dude that works there was like, this is my favorite vodka. So they took it like 30% down. Like it was 30% of the normal cost just because someone that worked there loved it. I'm like, give me. It was basically tasting, what is it? What's the French one? French vodka. Everyone loves it. Jeez, oh Pete. You guys don't drink vodka though, so
I drink.
What's the vodka? Like everyone, the French vodka. God, it's like a
Absolute.
no.
Grey Goose.
Goose. It's Goose. It's Goose.
Yeah.
It's like a Costco. Costco's like shitty. What you think is shitty, their shitty vodka is actually Grey Goose. It's actually on like blind taste test. It's the same thing, but it's same thing. It's incredible, and I'm like, oh,
the only vodka I like is Deep Eddy's Cranberry. That one's really good.
Excellent.
Well, you could do
no
a
judge
Huck
there.
Harrelson.
Deep Eddy's is always good.
Yeah. You could do a Huck Harrelson and turn Smirnoff into urine.
He's a Smirnoff guy.
Yes, he is.
Oh, Adam said it's
haven't you ever heard him say that?
Yes. The Kirkland's at Costco is Grey Goose. So if you want to save some money and have the same quality and have a giant bottle that's bigger than your like body, the Kirkland's.
I know that.
Costco.
It's funny
They have
because
good whiskey too.
my Sock Summer's been buying the Costco whiskey and talking about the Kirkland's whiskey and talking about it.
It's like the Whole Foods like $4 chuck or $2 chuck or something buck chuck.
Wasn't that Trader Joe's $2 chuck?
Butt
$2
chug.
chuck. That's just It was something buck chuck. I don't know.
Yeah, $2 chuck.
Butt chug.
Yeah.
What do you guys say?
No. Butt chug is actually that's Aldi's. Aldi's does butt chugs. You also get a free bag of pizza rolls, but they're called pizza rules.
good one.
Rules. RULES, and it avoids copyright.
In 2019,
by the way, did I tell you guys this? By the way, so my local hot dog place here, like literally the only place I trust, because the one place Amore here in Vegas is shut down right now. They're doing renovations for like a year since COVID, so it's like fucking forever. But Windy City Beef and Dogs here in Vegas is excellent. It's the only place I trust. The only other place I trusted closed like 15 years ago, called Bono's. And I went in the other day because I had to do the ACT testing. So I got to be with my students. A great day. I was so happy to see my students. I haven't seen them since March 13th of last year. And as soon as it was over, I went straight to Windy City Dogs because it's like a block from my high school. Like again, where I teach, I have the best Chicago style hot dog beef place in Vegas. So I go in there. I think I saw, if you like looked at my Twitter post, I posted the hot dogs, but my man sold me 12, excuse me. Whoa, I'm going too far. 12, like a Talco pizza puffs. for $25. Frozen. He took them out of the box and just put them into a big old freezer bag. Like he's like, I don't usually do this, but I can eat pizza puffs all day long. Like all day
Good
long.
for
Like
you.
one of my favorite. So we have an air fryer in our oven. I'm like, and my girlfriend's like, "What? Why are you so excited?" I'm like, I felt like Pablo Escobar. I'm like rolling out. I'm like, I have a kilo of pizza puffs, and
He's thunked them onto the.
I'm gonna stack these up on my desk and snort them up my nose. But no, I'm so happy. I can't wait. Like, but I bought this LG stove and it's supposed to have an air fryer and I have to buy like a cage for it. So I'm like, you know what's better to buy? This brand.
There you go. That's right. That's the best brand.
You know, sits right. By the way, hold on. I'm setting that one down. I'm grabbing the second one. I teach my class every day with these two things reminding me to eat. FYI.
Don't wind up like this guy.
No.
And,
well, I mean,
can I just say,
you're wedged between this one from my girlfriend, so I guess she loves me too. But
I say love.
She's gonna be a booze.
Yeah. All I got to say is on that logo, that is all of my sock summer creation.
It's excellent.
He's like, he goes, I want to do something. Do you mind? Like, go for it. I don't care. And like a couple weeks later, he emails me that. I'm like, dude, this is incredible. He goes, I can order some for you. Like, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's good. He did our 108, after show little logo there. He did. It was really nice.
Passed out.
Yeah.
Passed out.
Me? I don't know.
Let's tell the whole story. Tell the whole story.
He was past it. He was in a different world for 108 Fest.
That was the Hangover Fest, though, right? He passed out, or no? It was the day after. He didn't drink, did he?
Yeah, he didn't drink. He didn't drink at the.
He didn't have one.
Yeah,
not one.
Because if you would have seen him the night before.
Oh, I did. We did.
Yeah,
we did. That's where I met Jim. We did the.
Yeah.
You were asleep.
I got to show you this, and he'll probably kill me, but he's a dad of two young girls. 5 and 2 are their ages. So he doesn't get out as much as he used to, obviously. His wife works for CPS.
Oh, so he's got the enviable job of being a supportive husband, which is underrated in our day and age.
Yes.
Which makes me love him. By the way, I'm a huge My Sock Summer fan, by the way.
Yeah.
I actually fuck with him more because I love him.
Yeah. So this was 2018. We decided to go out and meet. So we decided to go out and meet some guys in Indiana. And we had this was during the NCAA tournament during spring training. What's it? Not in Gary. No. I can't think of where it was. But was
it Fort?
Not Fort Wayne. No.
Okay.
Close. It was close to the border. We had a blast. And he was with us. It was me, My Sock Summer, Wally, Chorizy, Beef Loaf, and Biggins and Slumpbuster were there. NWI Steve came and met us for a little bit. But at the end of the night, this is how he wound up.
Oh,
passed out.
I feel like I've seen that picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's been posted many
times.
Made
its rounds.
Yeah. Passed out.
That's what that was from.
Yeah, passed out in Wally Money's what was called the Bang Bus. And if you knew Wally Money, you would understand the Bang Bus reference. Because Wally used that thing for he had a full sleeping arrangement in there for himself or someone else if need be. Yeah. But RIP to the Bang Bus. It basically it almost literally did the Blues Brothers car explosion at the end of the Blues Brothers. I was out with him one day. He left. The next day he tells me I got to go buy a new car because the Bang Bus overheated on the expressway and just that was the end of it.
That was it.
Yep. And we got some comments.
Oh, what we got?
What we got? Let's see. Sean's telling us about how his dad was his driver's ed instructor. Ooh.
Wait, who's?
That's a.
Oh wait, hold on. Am I not refreshing? I got rude. Oh wait.
Yeah. He's up. Sean's up a little bit.
Oh, yeah, 10 minutes.
Yeah. So
Rude, Sean.
Yeah, Sean. My condolences. I'm sure that was just another way to get you to do whatever he wanted, going to the store, running errands, whatever it may be.
Which makes your dad smart.
Yes, and that's what made
resourceful
driver's ed instructors smart. They had all their students drive them to all the places they needed to go.
Absolutely. Again, Donald Lovelace. I actually took him to the White Hen Pantry on Irving Park and Lake Street. So right there in Hanover Park. I remember.
You're dating yourself saying White Hen.
When you run out
to White Hen.
Run out of anything.
Run out to White Hen.
Oh, God. I actually used to go in there and steal cups. Not anything else. Cups. You know why? So I could drink a fucking case of Old Style on the fucking train ride down to Lollapalooza.
There you go. It's funny. Earlier we talked about fake IDs, and there used to be a record store back in the day called Cruisin' Music that sold fake IDs. And so I would get a fake ID, and occasionally if it got taken away because I got busted, this is my logic. I'd get a speeding ticket because that's when they'd give you the speeding ticket on the piece of paper. You could take a piece of the copy paper and change the birth year on it to make yourself legal.
Oh, clever.
That doesn't work anymore because they don't do that anymore, or they don't give you the ticket in that format anymore.
By the way, so we know where we're at. Just I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah,
but I don't want to. We have till 8:30. Which means we have 17 minutes to bridge this gap. So, do we want to do a power drill, or should we? How do we want to finish this? How do we close this out? Like, I love the wedgie. This is like a wedgie.
Hey, Yumper says there's White Hen still in Berwyn. Really?
Really?
I thought they were gone and dead and buried.
I know the song
with everything else that seems to exist from that time. Kmart, Dominic's, God. Oh, I love when people call it Eagles. The Eagles.
Eagles. I had Eagles in my hometown.
It's Eagle. Mm-hmm. You know, has anybody been to Tony Spavoni's on Lake Street? By the way, just want to ask if you've never been to Tony Spavoni's, or if you're pronouncing it wrong, Tony Spavone's. It's Lake Street, roughly left Lake Street and Roselle Road ish, a little bit. West is Lake Street, right? Yep. So good.
And hey, I got to say one thing to both Yumper and Luke. Berwyn.
Honestly, I wish we could all just meet at Alpha Row. I wish we could all meet in Alpha Row.
Yes, Izzy Rizzy. I remember that place well. Yumper, which Izzy Rizzy did you go to? On the one on like 60th and Pulaski, or when they moved down to 64th?
Ooh, that's a trust question right there.
When I search White Hen in Berwyn, all that comes up is White Fence Farm. So maybe it's just a secret.
It's somebody that owns a 7-Eleven that never changed the sign. That's really
probably.
It's a 7-Eleven without a chop. Like here in the West, we had what's called a Maverick. It's a Maverick without the sign. It's you can get nachos and nacho dip, but White Hen was so good though. Like the good commercial. It was, again, it's like a.
I didn't like White Hen that much. 7-Eleven had better comic books.
Honestly,
man, you could get comic books at a 7-Eleven.
Yeah, that's.
Oh yeah.
You know where I got my comic books? Nowhere.
Well, 7-Eleven was better for the comic books, but White Hen had the new release of Topps baseball cards first. So you had to prioritize.
Priorities.
Yeah.
Correct.
And Yumper, I'm very familiar with 64th and Pulaski. You're talking about my old hood, so to speak.
So Jim. Okay, so I know that again. I'm 100% keenly aware that we should not draw from the 108. All nine of us.
That is correct.
All 9 of us should give them their support. But Jim, Pete, your favorite place to purchase beer in Illinois, what would you call it? What's your favorite place to go where you know they have your shit? One place. You can't go because I know you do what I did today. You go boop 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 boop. So if you had to choose one place that has all of what you want,
I live literally like 2 minutes from a Binny's since I moved. So I just, I mean, come on. But this new place that I just discovered maybe a couple months ago, it's called Beer on the Wall in Arlington Heights. And I just have to go downtown Arlington Heights, and they just have all the craft beers. It's just a very small place, but you buy a single one of whatever, where like if you were at Binny's, you got to buy the 4-pack. But, with beer now, it's all $17 sometimes, so it's like, I'd love to try this, but I'm not going to spend $17 on a 4-pack of, 16-ounce beers. So it's cool. You can go there.
They charge you
$6
for the can.
Right. So it's like $3-4 for one, and I can try all the different ones. So it's pretty cool.
Obviously I think Binny's is probably the answer. I'm not that big of a beer drinker. So, if I'm going there generally.
So where's your whiskey selection come from besides online? Yeah.
No, actually, Binny's, and there's a liquor store in Oak Brook. I can't remember the name of it, but it's right off of Ogden and 294. And it's like a hole in the wall liquor store, but they keep like the top high end stuff in there as well.
So the Pappy.
But there was a beer store that we used to go to when I was a kid on 47th and Sacramento. I think it was Foremost, or is it Miska's? Whatever. But their logo was, if you got money, we got beer.
What if you don't have money?
Why are they not like the most profitable Chicago?
Yes, but I'll tell you a funny story about that. They were the most profitable in Chicago for that. They were about. Yes, thank you. Safeway Liquors, I believe that's it.
Safeway is always good for pizza rolls too. They have the Supreme pizza rolls at Safeway, so Eagle can suck a dick.
Yeah, and Luke,
I want the Supreme pizza rolls.
Yeah, hey, and Luke confirmed that that's the one next to the McDonald's.
York and Ogden.
So Pete, you're not much of a beer drinker. Have you gone much into like the barrel aged beers? Being a whiskey guy, some of those they got some like bourbon tasting beers and like stuff like that.
Yes, sir. Good question.
You mean like these?
What is that? Is that Goose Island or what? The Bourbon County.
Goose Island, Bourbon County.
You gotta hold it. You gotta hold it still for like more than.
Yeah, he was showing us the.
You gotta let your camera focus. Hold on, please. Go back up. Go back up. I said something about tea. I saw something about tea. Turn it slowly. Arch your back. Let me see them titties. Closer. Now, hold on. Freeze. Now, Bourbon County brand Kentucky Fog Stout made with tea from our friend. So who's Kilogram Tea? And we know the warnings. We know you're fucking loud. Fucking liver.
So what do you think of those ones?
That looks cool. That's tea based.
I haven't broken into them yet.
I feel like that would be the way to go if you want to get into.
And I do have, and my guy, My Sock Summer, hooked me up because he gave me one that had one of them that was aged in a Buffalo Trace bourbon barrel.
Yeah, they got a whole bunch of them. There's like 5 or 6 like barrel aged ones.
So I haven't cracked that one open yet either.
And you can let those sit. Like apparently you can let them age for like a year or two even.
Right.
Or something.
Yeah. So You know, that.
I don't have that kind of patience, but you know.
Well, I figure, to be honest with you, I figure that I'll probably be cracking one open in a couple weeks when we do the 108 tourney bracket reveal show.
That'd be a good time for it.
Yeah, and I know 2 years ago when we did it at Chirizi's house. I mean, obviously this is pre-COVID and everything else, and we drank like 4 or 5 bottles of that night.
Oh my God!
And we were actually supposed to do the bracket reveal show on the day the world went to hell last year. And what happened was I joined them remotely because at about 2:00 that day, I got an email at work saying they were closing the offices because somebody had tested positive for COVID. And we all needed to go in quarantine. So I called them on the way home and I said, guys, listen, this just happened. I don't think I should come. And they're like, no, we'll have you connect remotely. I'm like, cool, no problem.
That was back before anybody knew what to expect from it.
Right.
So anytime you heard COVID, it was like, oh shit.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, oh crap, you know, and I'm like, oh man, I'm going to have to quarantine now. And I've been home from work ever since, to be honest with you, because they've closed the office basically since then. And it sucks.
Am I gonna make King Mac mad if I like switch to analytics? Like I
Go
love
for
King
it.
Mac.
Probably.
Probably.
I know that everybody's. Hey, if you're listening to this and you're I hate King Mac podcaster, by the way, relax. Because I would insult you the same if you challenged my belief. I'm gonna say this: like he's old school, so you need to like approach old school as old school, which means you should be prepared to be insulted because that's what we do. We don't hate you. We just want you to be tough enough to handle pushing. So now, if you're like Bobby, who's a shitty human, racist bastard, who made White Sox Twitter 100% more entertaining yesterday.
I missed, and I'll be honest with you, I completely missed all this.
You missed it. God,
I did.
Okay, so
it was a meltdown of all meltdowns.
I got a message from King Nam about 10:30, and he said, "Have you seen what's been going on?" I'm like, "No."
It was bad. Like,
I mean, when you get White Sox Dave taking notice of something, like,
he said, "What the fuck happened?"
Yeah.
Look, okay, so true story, and I'm not gonna. Okay, he fucked up, so I'm not defending that guy. So
yeah,
but I do know that there are a few people that actually sent me multiple DMs. Hey, Kevin. Like when people do them, like, no, you can't see my penis. And so that guy.
You mean they don't send them like me? You mean they don't send them like me, where they say, "Hey, fuckface"?
Actually, I regret it, but the one time I responded to him was he said, "Hey, Kevin," and I did the was that like GIF.
Wait, this was Bobby.
Yeah. The guy that basically said, "I am blah, blah, blah." And then turns out that he lives at home with his parents and at his dad's house. His dad is 71, who owns the house. He's not a doctor. He's just some guy. Hey,
just got a message from my
reinvent yourself. It's okay. Don't kill yourself. Don't give in to the bullying. You fucked up, dude. You're fucking stupid. But you can say sorry. It's okay. Yeah. Like we'll actually, I think Sox Twitter would embrace him if he said, "All right, I was just being a dick." Yeah. I think they would actually like.
I don't know, man. It might be.
It depends on not all of it, because
not Ken Wool. I think
Ken Wool would.
Towards Ken Wool. Look, I don't know Ken Wool. He won't friend respond me.
Ken's a pussycat.
But Ken Wool.
He finally added me.
Why won't Ken Wool be my friend?
He finally
because you called him a sister.
Well, no. Before that, he goes, "I will not friend Cub fans."
Yeah.
So Ken Wool, I love you. Ken,
I will
love you.
stand. I will stand behind Ken Wool because I give Ken all the credit in the world for this.
I don't judge him. I love
You
him.
may not agree with his opinions.
I only disagree with
I
him not being my friend.
I respect the hell out of him for
He
being
fucking
willing
told
to
me
stand
shit,
his ground and tell you he is standing his ground.
I made fun of him because I actually, again, if I don't make fun of you, I don't know you. If I make fun of you, I think you're badass. So Ken
He
Wool,
makes
I
fun
think
of me
you're
all the
badass.
time.
Yeah, no, it's all
Friend
it's all good
request.
fun.
Accept me.
Yeah.
Accept me, Ken.
Yeah.
I will make
He only
so
added me
many
after
bad
we did the
videos.
what
I have
after
so
I was
many
on the
bad.
108 show.
Yeah.
Wait till the Dirk Diggler shit shows up for the 108. Ken, you want to be my friend before it starts? Just
Oh,
I'm
by the
saying,
way, I got to say something about the 108.
I'm sharing my shit with everybody. I'm not going to be in the 108. I'm going to share it with everybody that's not in the 108.
Yeah. But I got to say this, and I just got a message from My Sex Summer saying they're about to start.
Okay, there we go.
But I got to say one thing. Stay tuned for the 108 tourney because I myself have done a couple of things that I am unleashing during the tourney.
Dude.
And I know one is going to, how can I say this? There's no doubt in my mind it will trigger some people. And get ready for the chaos.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna say this. I don't expect to be in it. Will we meet before they drop it?
It's not for 2 weeks.
2 weeks
What's
is
the
just
date they're dropping
the show.
Thursday the 11th.
Okay, so today's which we meet. Okay, we have one more week. Okay, cool.
Yes.
311 day.
Yep. 311 day. Exactly.
Jim, I thought you were fucking in 311. I actually thought you were in 311 for a second because I'm like,
yes,
you insulted 311. And Jim,
and
was Jim in 311?
And can I say, Yumper, you're absolutely right. I'm not worried about someone who is making fun of me. I'm worried about someone who won't talk to me.
It's like the same thing when you were in sports. If your coach isn't yelling at you.
Right. Right, exactly.
You don't matter. You don't matter. If
That's
your coach
right.
ain't shitting on you, you're just a nobody.
Yep.
Boom. That's truth. Truth.
Yep.
But so how do we switch over now? So they're going live. The 108's going.
They should be going live in about 2 minutes.
All right. So if you have been,
so why do they do this on Thursdays? Why Thursday? Are they like off?
Because we want to post it on Fridays.
Yeah, because
everybody drinks on Friday. It's Thursday's retro night at all the bars. So it's the night where everybody drinks and should be ashamed of themselves, but we don't. We just drink.
Just drink and drink and drink and keep going. On Friday. Yep.
So all 8 of you that are still here, thank you guys for tuning into the Wedgie. I don't know, we're going to call it the Wedgie tonight, but we're going to call it something else. If you guys have any suggestions for what we want to call it, I honestly,
and if you have, I was going to say, if you have any ideas of what you want us to talk about too.
Yep. Honestly, we got to bridge that gap because these are 2 good podcasts, and I really, really, really love the 108 and the message chat.
You could call it the Gooch. The Gooch.
The Gooch. The Gooch is good. The Gooch is good.
The Gooch is good.
The Gooch. Do you want to call it the Gooch? Can we call it the Gooch?
I think that'll work.
I like the Gooch. The Gooch is good.
Or,
I don't know.
Or you can use the Wally money line. Get in where you fit in.
Really, in the end, though, we're just trying to bridge the gap because you know what?
Yeah.
Everybody else is drinking. We're drinking. We're not trying to stop drinking between the Pinwheels and the 108. So,
yes.
God, this one is actually not a 2.5 hour podcast. So we shortened up by an hour.
Yep.
Let's
because
go.
We're not simulcasting.
No. And I appreciate all you guys. We're going to jump over to the 108 now. Let's go 108 style.
Yep.
Support those dudes.
Guys, have a good night. Have a good night,
Have a
everyone.
good night, guys. Appreciate you all.
Yes, thanks.
Nope.